Are they? I'd like to call this meeting of the Benton Harbor Downtown Development Authority to order. I need a motion, please, to approve the agenda.
A motion to approve the agenda.
Push your button.
I motion to approve the agenda.
A second?
Okay. Any discussion? Additions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Citizen comments. We have a visitor this morning. Would you like to address the board? Did you have some things you'd like to talk to us about? Good morning.
Just for the benefit of you two, sitting at the,
Yes, they can hear you if you're up at the,
and there's a mic.
yep. And if you
Good
could
morning.
give us your name, please, and then,
Right. Good morning. I'm Iris Guidry. I was raised here in the city of Benton Harbor, Michigan, and always have had a love for the city. And so for the past several years, after graduating in 1977, I moved away and had an amazing career with the Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons, where I was a policy writer and just an array of jobs. And so I've always tipped back to this community every chance that I've gotten because my parents and tons of Guidrys are relatives here and always have a love for the community, whether I lived in other states, because I traveled a lot, but I always look back here in my city, and which has made me the individual that I am today. So as a result, I'm here about every other week because we are caregivers, my siblings and I, for my mother. And I decided to just take a tour around the city to see where else we can plant our hands. And when I say we, I'm talking about the Benton Harbor High School Alumni Association, in which I'm the chair, and we're always doing something within the school district. And in more recent years, the last couple of years, I should say, we've been thinking about what could we do to enhance the other parts of the community, from picking up trash, working with several of the commissioners here that I have had the pleasure to work with them. And I was just driving downtown, and I said, why can't our planters have more color? What can we do? And so as a result, forgetting about the 13 years that I've been retired, didn't follow proper protocol to get things moving, but I'm so grateful for the people that are in position here in the city of Benton Harbor to say, just go through a process, which was submitting the plan for the planters and going before the boards to see if we could be able to do it. In the process, I've been working I've written a proposal, went out to meet with Crystal Springs and the owner, Randy, and came up with some ideals to make the planters more full, or the roundabouts in different portions in the city, even here at the front of the city hall, to give it some additional attraction. And so with that, I worked with some volunteers here in Benton Harbor because I am a stand-up comedian, so whenever I bring a show here, I need to have the community support. So I've reached out to Sisters from Another Mother, and they've indicated that they would provide some volunteers. Present Pillar, because of Mr. Gunter, who does amazing work here in the community. And of course, the Benton Harbor Alumni Association, where we have several members that are engaged in monetary projects, which we do a lot of. And sorors from my organization, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, to help us make this project move forward. So that's my reason for coming before you all today. Thank you.
Thank you for your efforts.
Yes.
So if there's something that can do, obviously the board members can volunteer as well, and we do for lots of different things. That's how the planters got planted, with the perennials that are still alive, those that still are alive. But I understand from a couple of emails I've seen that you and Richard have been working together.
Yes, I can thank Mr. Rapper. I learned a lot. I didn't even know the planters belonged to another organization, so that's good, learning about different things in the city. And so to add a footnote to that, these are the things that we put in our newsletter or to let other individuals, alumni, when they come to the community, they'll know how to follow through protocol.
Great. And Richard can tell you, there are a number of steps that we have to do in order to get plants to thrive on the streets because of the conditions that they have to grow in,
Okay.
but also, just plants in general. So we fill them with dirt again when they get replanted. They need to have fresh dirt and in order to get the plants to thrive or to be fertilized. And so those are all small contributions maybe that some people might like to make towards the effort. And then, of course, there are the plants. So I hope that if you'll continue to work with Richard, that we can figure out how we can all pitch in and help make this a success for everybody. Certainly, you're right, the city needs some more color, and there are lots of opportunities. So
And
thank you.
Yes. And we're looking at a donor and some other donors within the alumni to help, or just other individuals for areas where we can't, pay the monies to help highlight the project to bring it to full beautification.
We also like to, as we do things like this, we like to knock on the doors
Okay.
of the buildings to see if there are businesses in them or contact building owners. Because once you put the plants in, they still require attention to keep them growing and, engaging our own community in taking care of itself and looking after things like planters and just the space outside their doors helps to raise the bar for the city as a whole. So we need everyone to be engaged.
Yes. Okay. And I
Mr. Little?
definitely can do that.
Yes, I just wanted to say that we're grateful to have Ms. Guidry doing what she's doing. There are a great many people around the area and elsewhere that are from Benton Harbor that have an interest. And the more that we see people coming back and getting involved in doing things and working with you all in the city and everyone else involved, we really appreciate it.
Ms. Goodry, could you share your plan, whatever you said, you've got a procedure or something written up?
Yes, the goal is to go around the city today and just look at the planters and start the phase about making sure the cleaning is done, the weeding, and so that we will target the areas that we would immediately go and work on. So that's goal one. And then thereafter, we would definitely be checking the soil to make sure it's moist enough to begin the planting. And I didn't put it on my list, but I need to go back and work on it as it relates to dirt to make sure that it's nice and moist. But thereafter, these will be all volunteers helping with the cleaning. And thereafter, we will begin to put the color in. We were looking at orange because of the tigers, some geraniums. Then in addition to that, we were looking at just an array of colors, no more than 3, just to give a highlight to start it. We don't want to overkill this time. And just making the planters around the downtown area all the way up to the roundabouts on both ends, an attraction that's coming into the city. So as they begin to enter, they will see the color all throughout the city. I did take a tour, and thank you, Richard, too. I didn't know how the planters were all positioned down on Wall Street. I rode by there today, so, that will be a phase 2 something. But on the main street, I think that's where we all can really get our hands dirty and do a great job.
And water is always a thing. I don't know if there's been a solution for that, but
And so that's a great comment there, because that is a concern. And that's why it's important that we do knock on some doors of the businesses to help once the plants are in, to ensure that there's an irrigation type of system, whether they come out and pour, after a rain or what have you, but we need some consistency on that. And the joy is the majority of the volunteers are going to be from Benton Harbor. That is the joy.
Well, you've probably already spoken about this. We have, in doing all of those planters, it does involve a lot of carrying water, and there are a few access points to get it. So unless you engage people in the buildings and try to get them out to help, it doesn't go too well. Richard spent many hours. I pitched in a little bit. I think some of the owners pitched in, but mainly it was Richard, going with trash cans, large trash cans full of water, and watering cans going down the street. The previous DDA president was a farmer who had his own watering rig and would spend all day Saturday deadheading and watering all the plants from one end to the other. So it's a
a
big
task.
project. So when you choose your plants, you might want to talk with them about what will do best in
Yes.
very dry conditions.
Yes.
And then we were looking at sustainability. So if there were plants that thrived in dry conditions that would come back on their own from year to year, that way we didn't have to continue to reinvest every year in every planter. So things like lilies, some lilies do okay in dry. We also did, cornflowers, things like that, that again would come back but don't require a lot of watering. So we can talk more about that later.
Okay.
And I'm glad to talk with you. And if we can find a date where we can get the board to turn out, we would love to help you.
Okay.
It's great when we can work with volunteers.
Absolutely. And the joy is we have youth that we work with and do volunteer work, even for moving grass and things over the summers each year. And so we try to compensate them. That's why a lot of people don't know all about the Alumni Association, because I think people would ask, but this is our money that we volunteer when we're asking young people to work with us, or adults, so we do pay them and lunch and all of that good stuff. And they've been readily receptive to the projects we've done probably for the last 4 or 5 years that a lot of people don't know about.
It's nice to give you credit, because people do wonder who is out there doing these things. And hopefully that would attract some more members to your different volunteer groups.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question for Mr. Little while we're sort of on this topic. Someone, and I'm not sure who it was, adopted Riverview Drive.
Yes, that's Mr. John Holmes and the fraternity group that he's president of. I'm right at the moment, the name's skipping me, but they're doing that.
Have they taken action?
They are working on it now, yes.
And you said Holmes,
Yes.
and he's part of a church?
No, it's a college fraternity group. Yeah,
That's what I thought. It was some fraternity, sorority. I wasn't sure.
yeah.
Thank you.
We also have a sorority that's adopted the Britain and Pipestone Park up there also.
Got it. And I know Pillars has adopted Frank, so it'd be, maybe we'll try to remember what you've said and make that known so that these community efforts can be understood. I see someone has planted some of the planters on Wall Street, made them more beautiful than they were. I don't know. Do you happen to know who did that?
I'm not aware of exactly who did that.
So we also need help on the city placed planters on Pipestone Street. It was a number of years ago when there was a strong block club. and the neighbors adopted them and kept them filled with plants as the gateway to downtown. Unfortunately, a lot of those neighbors have either passed away or moved, and planters are not being maintained there. So there are some where we still do some things, but Sites Park is one area as well. There's a bus stop there, so it's an area where people linger and spend time. So having flowers near the bench, those planters, is a nice thing as well. So there are a few opportunities to adopt a spot.
We could perhaps publish a list of opportunities. I provided Ms. Gouldry with, including seats, a lot of those that I could think of, and maybe we should invite and could invite other volunteer efforts. Yeah.
We have 'em.
Great. Thanks again.
Okay. Thank you.
Just to reiterate, for appointments to the board, we're still awaiting some information from the mayor, and I did speak with the clerk, or exchange messages with the clerk to this morning, and we still have positions that are open without applications, and one with an application for Jasmine Clausen, who is filled out her app but has not yet been interviewed by the mayor and appointed. So we hope that that will move forward soon, because we could use some more hands. And moving on to the treasurer's report. Linda?
Real quick, how many openings do we have aside from Jasmine's application?
Well, we can have up to 12, but we function well somewhere around 10 with getting a quorum. So if there are people with expertise, either they own businesses, they have legal experience, they have financial experience, marketing, those are specialties that we can all, skills that we can put to work on this board, and we certainly could use that their vision and their energy.
Mr. Chair, I'm making a comment.
Yes?
As you're thinking through your capacity on the board and how many people, some things that we've seen in other communities is just taking a quick look at your bylaws and what your procedures are for attendance. And, you know, if you load up your board and then suddenly none of them come, that makes it a lot harder to meet a quorum. So being able to have
Yes.
something in your bylaws that says, you know, 75% of meetings or whatever, and a process to remove someone, it might be good to consider.
Thank you. I don't recall if there's a percentage in there or not, but thank you. All right. Would you like to go ahead, Linda?
Our treasury report as of today is $185.79 in the bank account.
Thank you. Getting low. Let's see, committee reports, are there communications? Any updates on the website and committee meetings?
No update. We haven't met this past month. Yeah, we need to schedule a meeting there, I think, with the group here. So yeah, no update at the moment.
All right, thank you.
I'll just add that I've done a little bit of additions in photographs on the website, and I've been thinking about adding, I have a collection of just grabbing screenshots from other events in the city and posting them on the website. I'd love to have a calendar, if anybody's got the talent to do that, but just screenshots will share some information, and all in the same place.
Great. Well, hopefully we can get a meeting scheduled for soon so that we have a little bit more progress there. Thank you, Richard and John. Main Street's Welcome Center Social District. Just want to remind everyone that the Art Hop is coming up on Friday the 27th, and it'd be great to be a part of that. So I'm planning to volunteer to be there at the Welcome Center that evening. If any of you would like to join for part of that time, it's great to have an opportunity to take a break and move around and see what's going on in different areas. And that way it doesn't fall all on one person.
What's the time?
I believe is it still 6?
Question what?
The time for, is it 5:30 or
I can look it up.
to 8? 5 to 8?
I think it's 5:30 to something.
Used to be 9, but I think they shortened it.
Do we have plan of having open hours at the Welcome Center this summer?
I've not had a chance to talk to Virgil, so I'm not sure what's happening with him. He's not coming today, so I'll make a point of talking with him. Let's see.
Art Hop is what, Richard, you're looking it up?
I'm looking it up. 5 to 7 is what I have.
Okay.
I will double check that.
7? Oh,
But
I shortened it again. All right.
Okay, volunteer.
Okay,
well,
Thank you.
5 to 8.
5 to
is the
8.
Official.
Great.
5 to 8, the Benton Harbor Arts Association's Art Hop.
All right.
And at 7, so I'll stay from to 7, 5 to whenever.
Okay, so you want to say that?
I'll volunteer at the Art Hop from 5 till probably 6:45.
Thank you. Let's see
This will
what
really
else.
be the first organized event since the social district's creation.
Right.
Is that right? Yeah.
Right. So moving on, special meeting. I put this on the agenda because at the legislative committee meeting 2 months ago, the legislative committee, and I don't know if you remember, Mr. Little, you were there, and there was a comment or a question about communication about the various ordinances that affect property owners and business owners downtown, and a suggestion that maybe it would be a good thing to try to get people together in order for them to be able to ask questions about what their responsibilities might be or where to find information to help them with processes, and then also for the city staff people to talk a bit about best practices. If the questions don't all come up, there are certain issues that we see regularly that need to be resolved and can be resolved together. That would be an opportunity for people to have an informal conversation about, what everyone can do to make downtown work better. So I put this on here. I think it would be great to try to schedule a date sometime, probably maybe a little bit later in the summer. August, maybe. There are also, I think, ways that we could make this more entertaining for people. We'll have to figure out how to do this, but it's the first time we've attempted something like this, so it's going to have to be a little bit of an experiment. So are you willing to help us coordinate that?
Certainly.
Okay. So maybe you could, if you wouldn't mind, give us a couple of dates in August were you think? And then we'll try to get people together around those dates.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, under design, just wanted to thank Clement Construction. There's no one here at the moment from Clement, but they've been very instrumental in helping to clean up downtown. The various landscape areas in the Arts District that had gotten a bit overgrown have been cleaned up. They've pitched in Thayer Park and in Arts Park, contributed materials to mulch the area, and we've seen that they've also tried to do something about the weeds in the sidewalk cracks. So that's been a great help to the city as a whole, and we appreciate their efforts going above and beyond. So we'll have to send them a note as well, since nobody's here today. But just wanted to make that clear, that we're always grateful when someone can pitch in and help us make our community look better and more inviting to people. And Richard, you had some things on your list, I think?
I would add, I guess, in the beautification, yes, I agree. The efforts by anybody that does any beautification, it's very visible and appreciated, along with Ms. Gouldry here and her future beautification. I've been contacted by someone who's based in Chicago, but part of Whirlpool, with the desire to plant 40 trees in town. They were given my name because I love trees, and I've been promoting trees for most of my life, I guess, along with other environmental issues. That hasn't gone too far, but I'm trying to collect their intentions, and then I will share further with everyone.
Wonderful. We will welcome that.
Yeah. I guess despite all the beauty, there are still perpetual offenders. And if they could understand that their status, I think they must be irritating to be ticketed all the time. So tall grass and this and that. It's quite obvious. MDOT is noted here in my segment here, and we've had contact with MDOT, and they're going to work with the city to orchestrate a meeting one way or the other, hopefully all teams, and make some progress on signage and cleanup of the roundabouts, which are rather significant in our town. They're not just nothing, they're intended to be safe, and also it's an opportunity to be beautiful at the same time as safe. I'm just going to toss this in, I guess, as a question. But for a time, there was a handicapped spot designated right out front of City Hall. I thought it was a good idea. It could be maybe 5 minutes to drop something in the mailbox, or handicapped, maybe either or. But I see that sign's gone. I don't know if somebody's got a plan or not.
We'll check into it and find out what happened.
Move on. Mr. Little, would you like to give us any update of anything you think we should know about?
Certainly. Well, we have a lot of wonderful things going on in the city that impact all of us. As you know, yesterday we had the ribbon cutting for the new exercise facility, a fitness center, and we also had the grand opening for the social district. Next, the 24th, I believe it's next Tuesday, we'll be having ribbon cutting at Martin Park, where Whirlpool has restored the fountain there and really cleaned up and done some beautiful concrete work there in the park. They're going to be power washing and cleaning the fountain there, and we're going to put that back into use. Started, I believe, this week on Hall Park, and they're starting with putting in the new basketball courts up there, as well as some other stuff. We had the grass cut and so forth in there yesterday, so that the park at least looks neat when you pass by while they're doing the work and so forth there. But it was starting to look kind of rough, and some thought that maybe since they were going to be working in it that we didn't need to, but we did need to, so we got that done. Work continues on the Ox Creek project. Some of you know some of what's to occur. The debris removal contract that we've got to get started on, because of Michigan's laws regarding bats, we aren't actually starting to do the work that would disturb the trees and so forth until October. You have that period when I think you can do work that impacts these trees between October up to about, I believe, the first part of May, I believe it is. But we'll be doing quite a bit in there to try and get a lot of the debris and stuff that's been thrown down the hills and so forth cleaned up. We'll have to try and take some actions also to try and keep it that way and catch people who are trying to dump, because apparently we have people who just intent on thinking that they can do free dumping in the city. We're having a problem in the alleys. We're having it in any place people can get to. We did announce a little reward program to try and encourage people to get involved and take pictures of people dumping and that kind of thing, so that we can begin to prosecute them. But that's a very important item to keeping the city clean and keeping the city looking like we want it to. Just say we have a number of different efforts like that are going on, and we'll continue to update you as these things take place. I should mention we did just finish the parking lots here at City Hall, both down behind the building behind the police department, as well as on the right side of the building here toward the library, and they look nice. We've got to move a couple of signs over, but otherwise we've got everything pretty much done on there. Today is the opening day for the farmers market over here in City Center Park, and that seems to be going well. I see a large number of people out there that are attending, and that's always good to see. We're going to be trying to initiate some efforts to work with and assist the library in addressing some of the problems and so forth that it has to. But because we have limited funding, we're going to be working to try and get the state and others involved to assist with doing what needs to be done there.
Thank you. Yes?
A question on Morton Park. While
Yes.
the water was operating there, my observation, there appears to be some kind of a ground leak. It used to show itself on the west side of the mound between the fountain and Pawpaw Avenue. That
Is-
whole side was soggy.
Is that still there?
Well, the water has been off, so no.
Okay,
But I
but we just
kind
turned
of
it back.
strongly associate a leak with the water there.
We'll check it. Thank you.
Did you have a time, excuse me, for the Morton ribbon cutting in case people would like to attend?
I don't, and I don't want to get ahead of Whirlpool on that. They'll be putting that out.
Oh, great. Okay, so that people can look for it. Will we have it on Facebook, you think?
I suspect yes.
Great, so they can look there. All right.
One other question on the subject you raised of dumping through the city and the efforts, reward, all that. I know there's a form that you can fill out. It's like about a whole page. Is there a way to just provide a text number where somebody could take a picture of dumping and then take a landmark shot so that words wouldn't be necessary?
We could do that, but it wouldn't help us in being able to actually prosecute the situation. For that, you're going to have the person who saw it, and they'll have to be willing, if necessary, to testify to it. It's helpful, I guess, but very limited in terms of if all we have is just a picture.
On that subject, just for another minute, there's been mattresses and chairs at the corner of Empire and Colfax for years. I mean, the thickness of mattresses comes and goes, but I consider that kind of a main route into town, and I can do this sort of maybe by luck, blindly.
You said at Colfax and Empire?
Yes, there's a former convenience store or something that's closed up. Just around the corner is in an alley or behind the building.
Okay.
I noticed there was a white tour bus that went by there, and I go, oh, don't look that way. Look toward the high school, because it's not pretty over there. It's been there for a long time, so there's a lot of tour buses that have passed by there.
We'll check on it and get something done about
Be a
it.
quick cleanup.
Do we know when the Riverview Drive will be open again and we'll be done with that project?
I know they're nearing the point where they'll start doing the pavement shortly, but I don't have an exact date. No.
Okay, thank you. We thought maybe that might be a place for some sort of an event. Linda was suggesting that maybe we consider doing a back-to-school event for kids, and that maybe Yarborough Park would be a good place.
It would. And I'm certain they'll be doing that repaving sometime within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
So,
I would just like to add one more comment. You said there's a pause on trees until the end of the season. Those standing dead trees, is there any way those can be dealt with sooner?
Down in that area, no. They're rather strict about that. Yeah.
Dead or alive?
Yes. Now there's some minor exceptions to that, but generally we have to comply with.
should we move on, or did you something else?
That's it, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have just a quick word about the zoning ordinance update. The final draft is ready for the public to review ahead of the public hearing that the Planning Commission will be holding at its next meeting in July. So for people who are interested in knowing more about changes to the zoning ordinance and to the zoning map, the official map and draft of the ordinance are available on the city's website. If you look under the Planning Commission tab, you'll be able to locate the entire updated ordinance along with that map. The public hearing date is the same as the Planning Commission meeting. which is always the first Tuesday of the month, and in July, that will be the first. So people are welcome to attend and offer their advice and give their comments. After that meeting, if the Planning Commission agrees to recommend it, then it will go on to the City Commission for their review. So July 1st will be the date to get your comments in. You can also send them by mail to the city clerk at 200 East Wall Street. And she will provide those comments then to the Planning Commission for their consideration.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
one thing I did forget to mention, I want to extend our thanks to Mr. Andrew Hahn from Cornerstone, Sarah Spoonos from the Southwest Michigan Chamber, and to Reverend Ken Robinson, who served as the MC, for their work in helping us to put on that ribbon cutting that took place. They did an outstanding job of getting that all set up and going for us. And we really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for adding that. Moving on to the Theater Committee. We just received our check just as the meeting was getting started, so that was great, and thank you, Mr. Little, for arranging that and getting us that first piece. We do still have the other issues to work out, and we will be in contact with you about setting up the procedure so that we can move ahead with our work on the feasibility study for the annex of the State Theater restoration. The project is moving forward. We have had more information from our consultants, and we will be, in the next few weeks, announcing our campaign to raise the funds to do the work. It will be an expensive project, that much we know, but it will be something that we hope to engage the community on, and for us all to work together to make the theater the center it needs to be for our community. So please stay tuned. If you're interested in perhaps donating time or just want to know what's happening, you can reach us through the DDA email, which is bentonharbordda@gmail.com. And we'll be glad to let you know where things stand and perhaps where you might fit in if you're interested. So moving on to holiday lights. I have Richard down, but I don't think you probably have a report. So
No report.
I'm not sure why I have you there. I think that's an oversight or something I carried over.
Starts with Richard.
Yeah, that's true. So planning needs to begin for 2025. We have a pledge of $7,000 from I&M to help with holiday lights and our programs. That will get us fair distance, but we will also be doing some more fundraising to augment that, because just doing the park is $5,500 to light the trees in the park. So the other things that we do, replacing lights that we've had that occasionally need to be replaced, and if we need other equipment, we'll need the extra money to do that. And of course, we always do the reception at the library with the library board, and we pay for the expenses for the refreshments there. So we can have the band, and we offer them dinner since they come and play. So they play for their supper, and we all have the benefit of that. It's a fun thing. And
Just
I
an
think-
addition on that. Thank you to the city for providing the power that lit the lights last year. A preliminary on getting this year going would be to check the status of the light poles and the outlets there so that they can be on, so we know what we're working with, I guess.
Yes. The increased access to power really did make a difference when it came to lighting the big tree. And will save us expense and make things safer in this next year. We won't have to run all the extension cords across the park as we have in years past.
It reduced and eliminated the daily maintenance of resetting things that was required before that power existed.
Well, thank you. And one of the things that happened when we redid that was we separated the lights in the park from the street lights on the corner. Somehow they were connected before, and we had a problem where people were turning off one and also affecting the other. But we're glad to have been able to get that done, and had a donation from the electric company that did the work and helped to make that possible.
Wonderful. So we're looking forward to another good season and being prepared for that.
Can I add, just while we're in the park, it's not a holiday light, but it's a park topic. The water fountain that's there, it would be wonderful if the city were able to make that fountain operational. There's a lot of, well, today, the farmer's market's there, and people that are drinking, they're drinking from a plastic bottle that they managed to find or buy. Be really great to have the fountains, any park that has a fountain, to have an operational fountain.
We'll take a look at that and see what we can do with it.
Well, I think we've come to the end of this agenda. If there are other comments board members would like to make, now's the time. No comments? Then,
I'd like
my time.
to just add one.
sure.
And that is, I want to extend appreciation to our small public works unit for the great work that they do. I think a lot of our people don't realize when they think about the city, when it comes to, it doesn't matter whether it's trash, weeds, the water fountain, electrical, whatever, it all involves public works, and public works in Benton Harbor. When I was manager here twice before, we had over 26 people in public works. We've got about 8 now that do all of what gets done. And when they're doing one thing, they can't be doing another. So it's a constant shifting of priorities. If I've got them cleaning up trees that have been blown down from a storm or whatever, then they're not able to do weeds or something else that needs to be done. Likewise, when they've got to pick up refuse, they can't be doing something else that needs to be done. But they do a great job with with the limits that we have, and just want to, extend appreciation to them for the work they do.
On that topic, I think we talked about the need possibly for increased number of bins for the litter that's created with the social district activity. I don't know if any action has happened there. There's another comment I've received from the litter bin across the street at Water and Territorial. The can inside the bin is worn out. It's been replaced at least once by Forte on their own. If the city has those sort of things in mind to keep all of our existing trash bins active and and functional. Similar for the bins at City Center around the MLK Monument. The bins that are inside those concrete units aren't as big as the hole, so a lot of the litter ends up just going in there but not getting into the bin, so it's not easy to remove. It's basically hand picking, which is a lovely activity. But if a look could be done there, I think it would be more efficient for everybody involved.
First ones you mentioned those are where?
The bin that's worn out, I've been told is worn out, well, is Water and Territorial, southeast corner. And the two in the concrete encased are right in the curve of the MLK monument, either side of that front space. And those bins are rather tired and small, too small for the space that they occupy. I've removed them and found 2 feet of trash below them because it just continues to go in, and, you know, the lid doesn't even fit anymore because of the trash mound. So just, it's fundamental.
I've wondered
Appreciate that.
if it wouldn't make sense, just having encountered that through the years, if it wouldn't make sense to do away with those particular trash bins. Not that we don't need trash bins, but those in particular must be really hard for Public Works to take care of. And what you're describing has been an issue for a long time. And it's just a design flaw in that particular trash bin. So maybe there's something else we could investigate. Maybe if there's something we have that we're not using somewhere else that would be easier for them, so that they could be emptied more easily and perhaps more regularly, because it won't take such an effort to dump them. And I know, you know, people don't like to look at plastic carts, but I'd rather look at an empty plastic cart than a trash bin that the lid doesn't fit on because it's full. People instead throwing the trash or trying to tuck it in someplace. I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot, and we're adding in unnecessary work to the Public Works Department.
I think the problem with those bins is just the container inside is too small. They're actually quite easy to pull the lid off and pop the can, but it's not a good fit.
We'll look into those.
Right. There's nothing else. A motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Okay. John?
I'll second.
All right.